The sun was shining over the grand estate of Adrian Vainar, a self-made millionaire who had built his empire from the dust of his childhood poverty. The world saw him as a man blessed with everything: wealth, power, a beautiful mansion, and a glamorous fiancée who was the envy of many. But fate has a cruel way of tearing away illusions. On a day he was not expected to be home, Adrian returned early, stepping quietly into the marble halls of his estate, only to witness a sight so horrifying, so heart-shattering, that it froze his blood cold. His beloved fiancée, the woman he believed to be the future of his life, was raising her foot in fury and striking at none other than his elderly mother, who stood frail and trembling with her walking stick, too weak to defend herself. That single moment ripped the veil off everything Adrian thought he knew about love, loyalty, and trust. Before I unfold the rest of this heartbreaking yet powerful journey, let me pause for a moment. If you believe that true love is measured by kindness, respect, and second chances, not wealth or appearances, then please take a second to like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel Kindness Corner. Your support helps us spread more stories that remind the world of what truly matters. Adrian had always been a man of deep values, even while drowning in success. His mother, Ilara, had been the foundation of his life. She raised him single-handedly after his father abandoned them, working 3 jobs just to keep food on the table. Through years of sacrifice, she never let her son feel poor in spirit, even when they were poor in pocket. When Adrian built his fortune later, buying sprawling estates and luxury cars, he made sure his mother had everything she deserved: comfort, dignity, and love. But Adrian also longed for a family of his own. That was when he met Cassandra, a woman of striking beauty, refined taste, and charisma that could light up a room. She seemed gentle, attentive, and perfectly attuned to the role of becoming the partner of a millionaire. Ilara welcomed her at first, though her heart often sensed a shadow lurking in Cassandra's smile. In truth, Cassandra had grown up desiring wealth and status above all else. Her attraction to Adrian was not rooted in love but in the life he could provide. While she charmed Adrian, she grew cold toward his mother, seeing her as an obstacle, an inconvenience, a reminder that the fortune she sought came tied with family responsibilities she had no patience for. When Adrian was around, Cassandra played the role of the perfect, loving fiancé. But when he traveled for business or disappeared into long meetings, Ilara would find herself at the mercy of Cassandra's scorn. She would belittle her, hide her medicines, and treat her with disdain. Still, Ilara never complained, for her greatest fear was burdening her son with pain or making him choose between them. She bore the cruelty in silence, hoping love would one day soften Cassandra's heart. But on that fateful morning, Adrian cancelled his business trip early. He wanted to surprise his mother with her favorite flowers and spend a quiet afternoon with her, away from the constant rush of his corporate world. As he entered the estate, he walked softly through the hallway, following the faint sound of raised voices. When he turned the corner of the grand staircase, his heart stopped. There stood Cassandra, her eyes burning with fury, her foot striking out at Ilara, who stumbled with her walking stick, nearly losing her balance. And then came the words, sharp and poisonous, "You're nothing but a burden in this house. Why don't you disappear already?" The bouquet of flowers slipped from Adrian's hands. In that single instant, every illusion shattered. His fiancée, the woman he once believed to be his forever, revealed her true self. His world tilted, and a storm brewed inside him. He rushed forward, his voice trembling with rage, his eyes burning with betrayal. Cassandra froze, her face draining of color as she realized she had been caught in her cruelty. Ilara's eyes filled with tears, not for herself, but for her son, who now stood on the edge of heartbreak. The days that followed were some of the hardest in Adrian's life. He ended his engagement immediately, his heart heavy but resolute. Cassandra, desperate not to lose the life she had clung to, tried to plead, to cry, to justify her actions. But Adrian's decision was final. His mother's dignity was not negotiable. News of the broken engagement spread like wildfire, shocking everyone who had admired their glamorous relationship. Many could not believe the fairy tale couple had collapsed so suddenly, but Adrian knew that beneath polished surfaces, true character is revealed not in public but in how we treat those most vulnerable. Adrian devoted himself to his mother after that day, determined to heal the wounds she had suffered in silence. He rearranged his entire lifestyle, spending more time at home, ensuring Ilara felt cherished every day. They would sit together on the balcony at sunrise, sipping tea, sharing memories of simpler times. He realized how much he had overlooked while chasing success, how often he had left her alone with the very person who hurt her. The guilt weighed on him, but Elara, ever gentle, forgave him. "You came back when it mattered," she whispered one evening, her eyes full of love. "That is enough for me." But Adrian's story did not end in heartbreak. In the months that followed, he began to see life with clearer eyes. His empire no longer held meaning if it was not built on kindness, respect, and genuine love. He grew closer to his employees, ensuring their families were supported. He funded charities for elderly care, dedicating his resources to help those who had no one to defend them. His mother became his partner in these projects, her wisdom guiding his steps. Slowly, Adrian's heart healed, and though scars of betrayal remained, they became reminders of the lesson he had learned. Wealth can buy many things, but it cannot disguise cruelty, and it cannot replace true love. As for Cassandra, her world crumbled without Adrian's fortune to sustain her. She had gambled her future on greed and lost everything in the process. The world she desired rejected her, and she became a shadow of the glamorous figure she once was. Meanwhile, Adrian thrived, not in wealth alone but in the richness of love and respect that surrounded him. This story reminds us of something simple yet profound: kindness is the true measure of worth. Beauty fades, money shifts, but the way we treat others, especially the vulnerable, defines who we are at our core. Adrian's life took a painful turn that day, but it led him back to what mattered most: his mother's love, the foundation of his being. And through his pain, he became not just a millionaire in wealth, but a millionaire in heart. If this story touched your heart and reminded you of the importance of kindness and family, I ask you from the bottom of my heart, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Kindness Corner. Every click helps us spread more stories that inspire compassion and second chances. Before we end, I'd love to hear from you. Would you have forgiven Cassandra if you were in Adrian's place, or do you think betrayal like this leaves no room for redemption? Please share your thoughts in the comments. Your words matter and they inspire others. Adrian's journey stands as a beacon for us all. In a world obsessed with appearances, may we never forget that true wealth is measured not by what we have, but by how we love. And in the end, the most precious gift we can give is kindness, for it is kindness that leaves a legacy no fortune can ever buy.